The average person wears only about 20% of their clothes, but somehow our closets are completely full and we feel like there is nothing to wear. Cramped drawers, clothes that don't fit, things with the tags still on, and pieces that we swear we'll wear, but we never do. And every morning you open your closet, something's jammed, something falls out, and you're already a little bit annoyed before your day even starts. So today I'm going to walk you through a simple 4-step closet reset that actually works. And no, I'm not going to tell you to pull everything out and throw it on your bed. So we are going to be using my Mighty method. I use this method to declutter everything, but it works so well in the closet. So the first thing we need to do before we're tossing things around is we need to understand what is going on. Step 1 in the Mighty method is the triage stage. So when I was an emergency nurse, triaging, it's not actually about fixing everything at once. The very first thing that we are doing is we are assessing the situation. What is the problem? What needs attention first? Where are things working? Where are things failing? Where is everything coming from? Where is it piling up? Where does it look good? And what kind of an outcome do I want in the end? So we will do that when we are decluttering as well. So when we're attacking our clothes and our closets and our dressers, we start with the triage phase. So looking at my closet, it's a little lopsided. I've got hardly anything up top and it is super bottom heavy. A lot of these drawers have tons of stuff in them and the bottom drawer is the worst. This is supposed to be my out of season drawer, but it has basically turned into a catch-all. And then I also have a dresser, which is in a very similar situation. So realistically, I could probably get rid of quite a bit. So the second drawer of the dresser where I keep like a lot of my t-shirts and I have a lot of the same colors. I wear mostly navy blue, but I also have whites and blacks. I don't think I look good in black, and I don't wear a lot of white. I typically would only wear maybe 1 white shirt a week, but I have like 5, so I definitely have too much. I have my workout clothes drawer, which is totally messy, my pajama drawer, which is a bit of a mess as well. Plus I also have some off-season pajamas, and then like the winter pajamas I'm not gonna wear in the summer. And of course my pants drawer is kind of messy too. So really, in all of my clothing, I just want more balance. I want better use of the hanging space in the closet because again, like I just have like, it's like naked up top and then everything is cramped down below and I know exactly why. And it's because it's easier just to throw stuff in the drawers, but that is not the way it should be. And I want drawers that don't fight me every time that I open them because that friction, it adds up and it really frustrates me. And it just keeps me sort of like not even wearing some of the clothes that I want to wear. And I'm curious if you can relate to that. So simplify. This is decluttering. This is like step 2 in my Mighty method. And this is where a lot of people go wrong because we have heard the advice lovingly doled out to just take everything out and just throw it all over your bed. Make a giant, overwhelming pile. But then you're gonna stand there and you are going to feel overwhelmed. And maybe you'll be like, okay, I'm just going to pick away at this thing one at a time and it's going to be fine and that's great. But the problem is a lot of us, me included, I don't like that method because I get totally overwhelmed and I will just consider crawling under all of those clothes for a nap. No, thank you. I do not want to do it that way. So overwhelm is not a motivation problem. You can feel motivated, but once you see like a giant pile of clothes, you can be like, I'm out of here and just hide and run away. The volume is what gets you sometimes. So instead of doing everything at once, girl, we're gonna do it easy. We're gonna shrink the problem one thing at a time, drawer by drawer. Minimum, I like to do 1 drawer, 1 section per day. That's what we do in the membership. No pressure, no marathon, just steady, doable progress.
That was me dancing before, and I literally do that to get myself in the mood for it. 1 drawer at a time. Oh, this drawer, it's something, but we can do it. You and me.
So my approach to decluttering clothes is maybe a little different than others. Like, first of all, I'm just going to, as I said, go drawer by drawer. And when I started with the t-shirt drawer because first of all, I already had an idea of where I wanted to see good results and sort of like what I wanted to get rid of. And when I triaged it, I knew that was kind of like my problem area. I already had identified I had way too many white t-shirts. So I look at what I am wearing and what I'm not wearing. Maybe you might say to yourself, do I have duplicates of things? Which is something that can work so well in a place like the kitchen, but it also works in the bedroom. Maybe you have like maybe you don't want a bunch of navy shirts and you're like, I only want one, or I don't want any, or whatever. Or maybe you're like me and you're like, I only need one or two white shirts or whatever. You can just look at things like getting rid of multiples. Another one I hear all the time from people, and it makes so much sense, and I totally have so much love for you, is if you have clothes that don't fit. Now, either they're just a bit too small, and you're hoping to lose weight, or maybe if you're pregnant, you can definitely hang on to them. Sometimes I've had people who are like, I've lost weight, but I don't want to declutter these bigger clothes because what if I gain weight? So I think here's how I approach those two things. First of all, don't expect to slide back into where you were. Treat yourself. Give yourself that respect of saying, no, I have made it this far. I am only moving forward. That is my advice for if you're like holding on to things in case you gain weight. And maybe it's the other way around. I don't know what you're doing. That's not really what we're talking about. The other thing though is if you're like, well, I have a lot of clothes that are a bit too small. Here's how you can approach that. I would only first of all, if you're actively trying to be fitter and you're like, I can see it happening, I am moving in that direction, I don't see any reason why you wouldn't hold on to those clothes. But if you're not, be honest with yourself. The other thing though is if we have, I have had so many clothes in the past where it's just not a style I like anymore. So keep that in mind. Maybe you're like, oh, these are smaller clothes, but if they're not a style that you would wear again, let them go. And of course, there are the things that are damaged, which I did come across a few of those in this that I could get rid of too. And if you are feeling so overwhelmed at the thought of decluttering your closet, I totally get it. You are not alone. Inside my membership, the Mighty Circle, we're actually doing closets together this month, so you don't have to figure it out on your own. So as I mentioned, the whole t-shirt situation, the blues and the whites and the blacks, I, of course, am keeping all the blues and getting rid of some of the blacks and the whites. So I think this is very helpful that I can just I could sell it. That I am definitely not selling that stuff. I would love to just donate as much as I can to people who could use the stuff. And it's really, to me, it's just the easiest thing. It's just to bless somebody else and to make it easier for myself.
Does anybody else put clothes on while they're decluttering?
And something that you might start to notice when you declutter, which as I've mentioned, already, you will have some preferences, which is okay. You can let the rest go. You have a uniform, as I do. In the summer, it is lighter weight leggings, skirts, shorts, and of course, lots of navy blue short sleeve t-shirts. In the winter, I love them. I get them from the Gap. Not creative, but it sure makes life simpler. And I want to look put together, but I also want to be comfort. Comfort is everything to me. And honestly, simple is just so underrated because getting dressed for the average day, it should not feel like a daily decision marathon, and you should feel really good about it. But sometimes it just gets buried under all of the extra stuff that we're hanging on to. So embrace who you are and what you like and let the rest go. So now that we have simplified, the next step in the Mighty Method is to organize. Yay, you've done it, amazing. But if we stop here, it is only a matter of time before things slide back because decluttering removes the excess. But organizing creates the system. I'm trying not to wave my hands around too much because I'm a hand waver around her. This is why I normally hold tea. Right now, things are still a little random after you've decluttered. It's only one Haagen-Dazs container away from chaos again. So this step, it's about bringing order to what is left. So my rule is simple. I organize based on how I actually live, not how I wish I lived. So I group things based on how often I use them and whether they need to be hung or folded. So in my dresser, the middle drawer where my t-shirts are, right in the middle, I have just organized them so the middle section is all of my navy t-shirts, so that mostly if it's morning and I'm getting dressed and it's dark, I can just grab that and know what I'm getting, because you know what they say about getting dressed in the dark. So the closet after, I do have some clothes that you could call business casual. These are what I would generally wear if I'm going out for dinner with friends or even to church. I will wear cardigans, I have some dresses, and I just make sure that they are organized and just sort of like try to have all my cardigans together. And I love how it looks right now. I think it's so good. And I will keep the current season stuff up top, easier to reach. And as we mentioned before, like the very bottom, that is where the stuff that I am that's out of season, that lives down there. So when I do need something a little nicer, it's all right there at the top and it is easier to grab and to keep organized. I have my shirts organized using these drawer dividers here, and it's the same. I have a couple in other drawers as well. So helpful. And I do use Marie Kondo's t-shirt folding technique, which I actually really like because it allows me to see which of like my graphic tees I want to wear. And then of course my blue ones that I already told you about. So things do definitely stay tidier longer and I love it.
So jeans are something that I used to be a total jeans wearer in the 90s. When baggy clothes were in. Was that the first time baggy clothes were in? I wonder. But anyway, I mean, I know fashions come and go, but I don't know about the bagginess. There was some extreme bagginess back then, and now my kids are into the baggy clothes. Anyway, I don't wear a lot of jeans. So this is something that, so I do have one pair though, because I think you've got to have some jeans. But people think that, like, they don't realize that their tastes and style is going to change over time. There was a long time where I was very into like a certain type of sweater, even maybe 10 years ago. And then I did like a ton of tunics, maybe 5 years after that. And I don't wear either of those right now. I am very much a hoodie girl. I don't know if I ever won't be, but who knows? Maybe in 10 years I'll be like, I cannot believe how many hoodies I wear. I'm a hoodie and legging girl. That's how I dress. So just understanding that you don't need to hold on to clothes that are no longer something that you will wear. Maybe you wore them a lot. A lot of those clothes I wore weekly, but now I've let them go and it is so nice. Okay, I will show you a couple of things that I got rid of only to help you if you're struggling. So some pajama tops that I used to like, but I don't anymore, so they're gone. Now this was something that I wasn't sure if I was going to keep. It's like a very comfortable overall situation here, but I am 5'1". So not only do overalls kind of make you look like a kid anyway, but when you're really short, they really make you look like a kid. And they're also not flattering. I've talked before about how black is not my color. I like blue, so I let them go. All of the white t-shirts, I didn't necessarily want to let those go, but I don't need them. They literally are getting in the way. And these are the most comfortable jogging pants from Roots, but they have absolutely so many holes that I was actually just looking to see if I can, like, what's the name of these? Because I would replace them. And the thing that came to mind when I was like, oh, would I wear these again? It was just like if you're like sick or you just get back from like a vacation or, being away or whatever, and you're like cold, you want to be comfy. But I have enough stuff like that. So those are the big things that I have gotten rid of.
So now your closet feels good. Everything is organized, and the goal isn't to never declutter again. Otherwise, I would not have decluttered because I have done it enough. And goodness knows I make videos about it and I help people with it. But the goal is to just stop having to start over and over all of the time. It's to make it pretty easy. So here are a couple of my favorite ways to keep things in check. Number one, the backward hanger trick. You may have heard this. You take your clothes that are hanging and you put the hangers on backwards. So once you wear it, you turn it back around and you know that you have worn it. So over time, you can see maybe if you want to let something go, maybe after 6 months or so. I basically end up doing my clothes in the spring and in the fall, the change of seasons. Now, you can do the same thing with the clothes that are in drawers. Maybe you would just sort of set them to one side, or even just at the end of the season, just think, am I actually wearing this? Did I? I don't know. I think I'll let it go. The other one is the one in, one out rule, which I absolutely love because this is something that we can use to keep ourselves on track. In fact, I like one in, two out, because if something new is coming in, you want to make sure something is going out. If you've just decluttered your closet and all your clothes like I just did, I know that I don't really need to get rid of anything. So that's great. If I were bringing something, like say I got another t-shirt, I could be like, okay, I can get rid of an old one. That can be really helpful. If you are one of those people that when you do declutter your closet, and I do hope you join me in the membership so I can help you do it. But if you are one of those people who you're like, oh, I couldn't quite decide, and then you go shopping and you buy more stuff, I want you to say, I got 3 things, I'm getting rid of at least 3 things. How about like one in, one out plus one? So you get 3 things and then a bonus one. You get rid of them. Simple. I love it. Your closet doesn't just keep growing, it evolves. And number 3 is make sure everything has a home. I have my workout drawer, I have my out of season drawer, which is full right now. My out of season drawer has a lot of stuff in it, but that's okay because it's organized and I can swap the clothes in and out, no problem. I also have my PJ drawer, and if you don't know where something belongs, it's going to end up in the catch-all drawer again every time. And you don't want that, because at the end of the day, this is not about having less clothes. It's about having a closet that actually works for you, that does not slow you down, and that does not frustrate you. Doesn't make your mornings harder than they need to be. It actually allows you to have a very smooth start to the day. It's one of those small things that just quietly makes your whole day feel easier. If you found this helpful, please join us in the Mighty Circle. Please like and subscribe, and I'd love a hype. That's a fun new thing you can do. I've been doing it for a lot of the people I follow. I hope something great happens for you today. Stay tidy and mighty. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye!